Hello everyone, it's Karina with Karina Loves to Plan. Welcome back to my channel. I am here with my very chunky completed ink journal for 2024, and I'm just going to do a flip through of this whole thing, just comparing it to what I currently have set up for, oh, let's get it out of here, 2025. So there are two different notebooks. This is the Galen Leather A5 notebook with 52 GSM Tomoe River paper. And then what is in here is a Hobonichi notebook with Tomoe River paper as well, but slightly different because the Hobonichi paper is slightly different. But this notebook was purchased in 2023, so it has the 2023 or 2024 planner paper rather than this year's paper. But look at the difference in chunkiness. Look at that. Very excited to get this one all chunked up. But, excuse me, anyway, the whole point of this video is to take you on a flip through of this. Basically, when was my first ink journal? I'm trying to remember, but I think in 2023 I had a B6 journal from Galen Leather, and then for 2024 I upgraded to an A5, and I love the A5. I love the leather of the Galen Leather notebooks. I love how they get weathered and worn over time, and it's just a labor of love basically. So the way that I do my ink journal is I excuse me, track everything chronologically. There's no just an ink section, just a pen section and all that. This is all chronologically because I wanted to record my pen and ink journey over the year. So first things first, the sticker section at the beginning is made up of stickers from friends or from pen shows. I have a sticker from Walltown Pens. This was a sticker given to me by Simona because she knew how much I loved my Lamy 2000. A sticker from Penrome, which was painted by Corolla of From Corolla. This one is from Simona. And from Atlas Stationers, from Esterbrook. From Esterbrook again, this one is from Foxglove and Fennel, and that was the SF Pen Show. And this one is from Rickshaw from the Pacific Northwest Pen Show. This one is from Oblation Papers, and then this one here is from Lexi. I love being able to flip through that. And then just a couple more stickers here. This one I haven't put down anywhere yet. I'm actually going to take that and move that. So then the first part here is the title page for the pen and ink journal with a sticker from PenChalet. I had every intention of creating a table of contents in here, and obviously I did not. So unfortunately, those are a few pages of Tomoe River paper wasted, although part of me is tempted to cut them out and use them in something else. Tempted. And then the first section is all the bottled inks that I started 2024 with. So these stamps that I have in here were actually sent to me by pen friend Katie. She actually made the stamp herself. So similar to what I did for my 2025 journal, I did a swatch of all the ink bottles that I owned. And it's so interesting going through this now after having set up my 2025 journal and what I still have versus what I've added. So I had 37 ink bottles at the beginning of 2024. Then we have my ink samples set up very similar to the way that I have it now. And funny enough, there are still some of these that I still own. So they've been in my collection for over a year, and some of them weren't used yet. So that should be a sign that I need to use them. And then some of these samples have become bottles. So Sell It on Cat has become a bottle. Tie Mine Earl Grey has become a bottle. Let's see here. Oyster Hour has become a bottle. Peter Moss has become a bottle. Cabernet on the Lake. Let's see. Anything else that's become a bottle? Takesumi has just become a bottle. And let's see, anything else out of the samples that's become a bottle? White Rabbit has become a bottle, and I think that's it. So I had 76 ink samples to start the year off with. And then what I had planned was a whole fountain pen section where I had a page for each fountain pen, and then I would write what I had inked it with. And I didn't end up doing that. I didn't end up using this whole section, which is such a waste because look at all of that paper that I could have used. So yeah, so I learned that I don't need a whole section or a page for each pen because I didn't really document what inks I had in each pen. If anything, I mean, that's what I have my currently inked for. So I did not repeat this in my 2025 ink journal. But anyway, 1st to January. So we have my currently inked for January, and it was so nice being able to fit 9 inks on a page because I couldn't do that in my B6. So then I had done the swatch and wrote the pen and ink combo, and then I did my ratings at the end of the month. And then this is where I was also testing the Endless Regalia paper. And yeah, what I ended up doing was once I tested it, I actually just taped it in here. And then a pen that I had purchased from Just Turnings, it was the Aussie Abalone. And then sometimes I do skip a page because if I do the ink swatches on one side, I don't want it to bleed through to a new pen day, for example. Then I had my blue ink exploration, which I look at it now, I don't think I have that many blue inks. And then I got my Waterman Corinne in Amber from Atlas Stationers, so I taped the postcard in there with it. And then I had done an ink exploration, I guess, with, it was a Wearingeul shimmer that I added to all of these inks. And the first column is the base ink, and then the second column is the ink with the shimmer added. And I really like all of these combinations. You know what, I really should do that with Shinkai. I'm looking at these now and I'm like, Shinkai was probably one of the favorites, but Shirakashi, actually that reminds me of Autumn Forest. Earl Grey with that is gorgeous. It's so nice to be looking back on these. But then I also did a test of that on the Endless Regalia paper, as well as the Rhodia paper. And then my progress report at the end of January, how many pens, inks, and my totals. And then my pen and ink goals for 2024. I'm just looking at these. I mostly stayed with these, but I mean, did I get a Sailor 1911 or Sailor Pro Gear? I did, but then I've sold it. Do I still want a Pelican M800 in black to get Rodden work done? Actually, no, I don't. I did get an Esterbrook SD in the Blue Moon. I did not get a Zodiac Penco in English Garden, but I did get the 3 Olives Martini. I did not get a Scribo Feel. I did get a Walltown Pens. Did not get a Vintage Pelican. So it's interesting going through these again. Then I have my February going forward. My currently inked, I taped in the Rhodia paper and then the Endless Regalia. And there is my currently inked for February. I used actually my little mix of Pilot Oroshizuku Inaho with the Wearingeul Heart Glitter. And then I had received this ink from Ferris Wheel Press. It's Edwards Gardens, and this was the ink that I had spilled all down the side here. Lovely, lovely. And then the new pen day for the Carousel Fountain Pen, which I ended up giving to a friend. And then this was sent to me by Galen of Fountain Pendulum. She sent me a lovely card, like her penmanship is gorgeous, but then she sent me a mix that she created from all of these inks to create this Ferris Wheel Press Purple Heart. Then we have my pink ink exploration, and yes, I do still own a lot of inks. The funny thing is some of these look more purple and some of these look more brown, but it's always interesting to see them all on one page. Then my Esterbrook SD Lilac. What do I have inked in that? It was Robert Oster and Desk Bandit, and oh, so happy with that pen. Then I received samples from Ashley here, and she sent me Queen and Castle as well as Workshop Wishes, and I just did a whole swatch on the 2 pages there, which was so fun. And then the Jinhao 51A, I really had so much space here. I really should have used these pages more. So I've definitely changed how I'm going to do new pen day going forward. Then, oh yes, this was a lovely letter from Miss Marilyn Darling. So I put that in here. And then I have all of these lovely Diamine ink vent samples from Miss Marilyn Darling. So thank you for that. And one of the things I like about doing this and including the letters from friends is that it just makes it like a whole scrapbook. Then Ferris Wheel Press Aurora Ellis. I bought this at my local stationery store and I'd never sampled it, but I just loved it so much that I had to buy a bottle. And then my Just Turning Sailor Pro Gear, which I no longer have, and my progress report for February. So now moving on to March. I don't know where the sticker is from, unfortunately. We have my March currently inked, and I have 9 pens inked here, but I'm sure at one point I will be able to fit 10. Then we have inks from Wava or Lexi. Thank you so much. And I kept her letter. I love being able to keep the letters here. And then more inks. These ones were from, I'm trying to remember now. Oh, I can't remember who these were from. I think these were also from Lexi. Now I can't remember. Oh, I'm sorry. And then here I am testing the Esterbrook SD nibs, including the oh my gosh, the vintage nib. My brain. And then all of the green inks. Wow, I didn't realize I had so many. Then a lovely letter from my friend S and some of the samples she sent me, and my progress report for March. Now to April. Again, I can't remember where I got that sticker, but I love that. And my currently inked, and it was April, and I didn't end up doing a 30 inks 30 days, but that's okay. And then I actually have the stamp from Everyday Explorers Co. Oh, I remember. The reason why I didn't do 30 inks 30 days in April was because we were on vacation for like the first week of April, and I would not have been ready to do it. So I did an ink exploration of all the brown inks. This one was tough because like the brown inks, you had your range of pinks and oranges, and how were all of these brown? Probably not, and that's okay. And then my new pen day or pen profile for the Leonardo Momento Zero Grande 2.0 in sand, which I ended up selling actually. And then I did a profile of my 5 pens for life. So does this list still stand? Yeah, it does actually. Pilot Kakuno, Esterbrook SD, the Lamy 2000, the Waterman Current, and Pelican M800. And I think about that, and yeah, I believe that is my like 5 pens for life. Then a pen profile on the Sailor Pro Gear and the Mocha Brown, which I ended up selling pretty much the day that I unboxed it. Then, oh my gosh, why don't I remember who these were from? I really need to write who these are from. But, oh no, this was the Goulet Pens random ink sample that I got for my birthday. And I really liked Moonstone and Sepia, and actually I have bottles of those coming. So, yeah. Then my April progress report, and then on to May, where I'm still doing 9 pens inked. And you can see there's a whole rainbow theme going here. And then I have my stamps, the Calcadomo stamp that I got from Amazon. New inks that I had purchased from, where had I purchased these from? Because these were the little bottles of Diamine. Was this from Cult Pens? It was a mix of like a Cult Pens order and Wonder Pens, I think. I cannot remember. I really should write that down. And then my favorite fountain pen accessories. My pen profile where I rediscovered TWSBI Ecos and still love them now. Then another dusty pink ink exploration. I feel like I have more now, so I should do that again. And then the fountain pen superlatives. These are so fun to do. And then my Bennu Euphoria in pink champagne that was gifted to me by Gold Spot. And then my May progress report. Now we're on to June, where I did do 30 inks, 30 days. I really like seeing the ink all in one grid like that, and I think I decided to, there's a lot of inks that I hadn't used in terms of samples and bottles that I had, so I wanted to go through what I had here. So I then dedicated half a page to each pen and ink combination, where I was only comparing Rhodia and Endless Regalia, because I didn't have all the other papers yet. But I really like how the Zentangles turned out, how these ink swatches turned out. It was a really fun way to explore each of these inks over the 30 days. I really do like doing 30 inks, 30 days, but in the last half, around the last quarter of 2024, it just became too much. So that's why I switched to the 15 inks over 30 days. And then this Octopus Fluids Write and Draw ink that I received from Bleskett, Canada. Really beautiful ink. And then my pen I had purchased this from Goulet Pens. It was the Franklin Christoph Ascension Wing. This was to commemorate the new job that I started. And then I bought Le Bon 325 in extra fine in snow. And I believe I ended up purchasing it from Bleskett, Canada. And then more inks from my friend S. Like, just the mix of inks that she sent me is fantastic. And then continuing day 11 onwards for 30 inks, 30 days. It's so fun looking back on these pages and seeing the inks and their profiles. I really liked Muddy Sand. I still have a sample of that and should use that. But it's nice to go back and see, you know, what worked for me. I am getting a bottle of that. That's coming in the mail. What was that? Diamine Harmony, which is still really lovely. I'm getting a bottle of that. Ink Studio 273. Yeah, really lovely. It's just fun to do. Just a fun way to play with your pens and inks. And then I got inks from CR, which there were so many greens, but also some really, really lovely ones that were sent. So thank you to CR for sending these. Then on to July, where I finally decided to move away from just inking 9 pens, and I inked 11 pens for the month of July. And I like this format of the, I guess, my scoring, the swatch, the pen and ink, and then my thoughts on it. So I've kind of kept to that format. And then my pen profiles for my Esterbrook Model J in Antique Rose. That was from Bleskett, Canada. And then the Pelikan M1000 Renaissance Brown. Goodness gracious. And then we have more inks here, and I am trying to remember where these are from. Now I have Onion Skin paper and Cosmo paper, which were given to me by a friend. And then we have the Pacific Northwest Pen Show. So just some of the different nibs that I tried out there. There wasn't much that I did at the Pacific Northwest Pen Show in terms of my ink journal, but I just wanted to try all of the different nibs. Then we have my pen profile for my Zodiac Pen Co. Cancer in the 3 Olives Martini, and then the Heinz Pen Co. Champagne at Midnight. So 2 pens that I got at the San Francisco Pen Show. Then we did a brown ink exploration, another brown ink exploration, because I had so many. And then my July progress update. This is really helpful for me. I also keep this on a spreadsheet, but seeing it in my journal like this is also helpful. Next, we are in August, where I decided to tone it down and just do 10 pens inked for the month. And it's funny how it ends up being organized, is that this side ends up being the warm toned inks and this side being the cool. And then my pen profile for the Lamy Studio that I won as a giveaway from the Pacific Northwest Pen Show. My more pink inks. It's funny that I have so many pink inks because pink is not normally a color that I would go for in, I guess, regular everyday life. And then why I love fountain pens in the hobby. my Esterbrook SD Quirky Leaf that was gifted to me by Esterbrook, and then my Waterman Karen in Sea Green Shimmer. I never thought I would acquire that. Never thought I would acquire that, and then I found it on eBay and I was so, so happy. And then letters from Lisa here, and inks from Lisa. This is where I started to add all of the little paper strips, and I love how that turned out. Oop, this one's stuck. And then we have inks here from Wendy Sue. That Interstellar Bronze is just crazy sheener. And then my August progress update. Then we have September, where I actually decorated it with the nibs from a foxglove and, is it foxglove and fennel? And then 30 inks, 30 days for September. I think I focused just on bottles here because I'd received so many, or had purchased so many, or there were bottles that I hadn't used in a while. Then this was a lovely card. Oh my gosh, yeah. Lovely card, and I loved being able to put that. That was from Grace. Yeah, that's from Grace. And then inks from Grace and Priscilla. This was the epitome of I need to find a cutter, a punch for these, because I spent like a good 3 hours cutting every individual piece out and gluing them in here. Never again. So I ended up investing in a square punch, which has been amazing. And then the letter from Priscilla, which I kept in here, which I love that. Then the pen profile for my Mayfair pens Naria and my Lucky Star pens, which I no longer own. And then another pen profile for another Esterbrook Model J and the Walltown Watts Glinda. So here you could see that I was trying to save space by doing double-sided. And then we have 30 inks, 30 days for September. Oh, these were so fun to do. Oh, I love that ink, that Diamine Cappadocia. Oh, what's that one? Raw Sienna. Raw Sienna is lovely. I never used Diamine Red Dragon, so I was glad I made myself use it for 30 inks, 30 days. Then my Zodiac Pen Company Cancer in the Primary Manipulation Light, and then the Magna Carta Meg 650, both that I got at the San Francisco Pen Show. And then more inks. This was from Pam, old lady with a camera. I love that she basically handed me a bag of ink samples. And then continuing on with 30 inks, 30 days, Queen and Castle. Oh, one of my favorites. Lita Tay is also a really good one. It's just nice to be able to dedicate this like half page. And now you can see that I have the 6 different papers. 2 of them I had purchased at the San Francisco Pen Show. Then we have I think inks from Suhua as well, which were lovely, and then a couple of inks that I tried at the San Francisco Pen Show. Oh, I really like that Zentangle. I should do that one again. This one is really fun too. Wow. Sorry, I'm not saying much because it's so nice to look back on these. Celadon Cat, Taranishi Opera Rose. The more that I see it compared to other inks, the more orange or coral it looks. I had so much trouble with that ink, that Robert Oster Sidewalk Gum. I had so much trouble with it. I need to put it in a different nib and pen. I loved it when it worked, but it was pretty inconsistent. So that was September. Now to October. Wow, that is like crazy sheening shimmer, but unfortunately did not work well. And then we have inks that I wanted to give away from Amarillo Stationery, and another pen profile on the Benu Talisman in Edelweiss, and then another Mayfair Pens model in Noldor. These were inks from Anderillium, which were gorgeous. Actually, I still love that butterfly blue as well as that Katinga burgundy. Then here, I think, what was I doing here? What was I doing here? I can't remember. What was I doing here? Was this a I feel like this was no, it wasn't a 13 inks. What was this for? Oh, my favorite fall inks. Oh my gosh. And then my October progress report. And then some more pens here. So the Kaweco Sport and Macchiato, and then the Delta Spaccanapoli Seracasano. Now to November. We have 15 inks, 30 days, but the first thing I did here was actually swatch inks that I had received from friends, but also had purchased when I was in Vancouver. And then we have 15 inks, 30 days in the grid here. So I changed up how I was doing 30 inks, 30 days, and just did it 15 inks over 30 days so I could dedicate one pen and ink combination over 2 days. But then I also made the Zentangle smaller. So I made it work for me because October, November, December was just a very busy time, very busy time. And I actually really love how these papers look. Oh, I love that color. That matcha ice cream is beautiful. Don't think I have it anymore. Then, here we go, the last. Hey, that's the only thing, is that because of the glue here it will stick, but they're so lovely. It's so nice looking back on them. And then December, my Hogtown pens Swansea in the Impressionist, and then the Walltown pens in the Onslow Brass with the Strata Quartz. Again, with another grid for 15 inks in 30 days. I had started to, I knew I was running out of pages, so I started to do some tipping in of paper in here as well, just so that I wouldn't reach the end of the book with no pages left. And then we have my top inks, or my top 5 inks plus honorable mentions for 2024. And continuing on with 15 inks in 30 days. And then my pen profiles of pens that have not yet been shown to you. And then that is it. So there's a couple of pages left in here, but it is mostly filled out. I know I didn't do a whole summary of what I acquired and let go of in October, November, December, but that just shows you like the type of mindset I was in. I did it for October, but November, December, I did not do a progress report because I was just not in any mindset to do that. But yeah, that is my overall pen and ink journal for 2025. I love that. I love being able to document the inks I've received from friends, the inks that I've purchased, the pens that I've purchased, and just see how my tastes have changed over time. Like the fact that I have so many pink inks and brown inks, like if you had told me that when I first started the hobby 3 years ago, I would not have believed you. But also I love just the little things that I've added in here, like the letters from friends and the cards. It makes it more than just a pen and ink journal. It's just everything connected to all of that. Oh, all right, but that is it for me. Thank you for sticking with me through this. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you like this video, please leave me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching and have yourselves a great day.